here this morning with us. Hi, Buki Femi Ajala. Good morning.
Yes, Bookie is fine. I'm trying to shut
Okay.
down another device.
Okay.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. Good morning. Good morning, Nima and Fumi, and of course, Alan's family. How are you doing? Yeah, I think the network is good today, so
It seems
probably
so, yes.
yeah, so probably I can share my my face.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a long time. Good. Hi, Buki. So good to see you.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm
It's so good
fine.
to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's get into it this morning. Okay, first of while we wait for the ladies to join us, a pastor sentenced to death for killing his 16-year-old daughter with Down syndrome after accusing her of witchcraft in Calabar. Before I even get into it, I've noticed that there's been quite a few. How do I explain this? Violence against young people these days, like children or toddlers or teenagers or these days. Somewhere in was it Ondo State? Yes, a father used hot iron on his daughter's private part. Somewhere in I think in the north, same happened. I think yesterday, Nima and the gang talked about a brother stabbing a sister. I don't know what it is, but I want to suspect that there's a spirit that is going on the air that is causing all of these things, and it is just so alarming. When I saw this story this morning, that was the first thing that came to my mind because I had been avoiding the man who used hot iron on his daughter's private parts and been avoiding all the other ones. But by this one, I was like, come on. Like, what do you mean? This is a special needs person, right? Your 16-year-old daughter has Down syndrome. You are accusing her of witchcraft as how? I know that in this part of the world, especially in Nigeria, once a child looks different, that difference follows them everywhere. It's like you cannot, it's like, how could you have come out different? How could you have come out with a disability of some sort? And it is just so sad because we see this when I was younger. I remember that I hardly ever saw kids with special needs or disability because they never brought them out. They were hidden. Kids with cerebral palsy were hidden. There's a particular name they used to call them, and I'm not going to say the name because now I realize that that was such a degrading and dehumanizing name to give kids with cerebral palsy when we're in primary school. When you see kids with wheelchair, you hardly see them outside because they were hidden. And even when you see them, they don't like, it's like the parents want to do everything in the power to make it look like what worse than it is. It's just so we're going to get into it. According to the Basic Rights Council, in a statement signed by its principal counsel and co-founder, James Ibor described the conviction, so he was convicted, obviously, as a landmark victory in the fight to protect children from witchcraft, branding, and related violence. There's a particular woman in I think Cross River, Akwa Ibom State. I think she's a pastor as well, who at some point in the late 90s, early 2000s, was very, very prominent with saying that children had there was witchcraft. So a lot of parents would take their children to that church for them to be delivered. I don't know. I don't know what is in the water they are drinking. I don't know what in the world they're experiencing, but there are two different matters here. The first matter is the dehumanizing violence against persons with disabilities, special needs, Down syndrome, or cerebral palsy, or whatever it is, you're in a wheelchair, whatever it is. Then there is this accusation, witchcraft association against children. So it's that, if you have a disability, it means that you're a witchcraft. Like when you were coming, maybe that. Okay, let me get into it. But I can see that Ibn Abba has joined us. Good morning, Ibn Abba.
Yeah, good morning, beautiful ladies. Lady Olubukola being one, Lady Olufumi J, Lady Nima, all the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ladies and gentlemen out there. I say hello, and I'm flowing with you, Olufumi. I'm also very, very, but I'm going to calm down. I'm not going to allow it to bring me down to pieces with my anger. I'm going to calm down. I'm promising to calm down. Thank you.
Look, yeah, because I have children, right? And I'm just trying to imagine somebody coming to say that my children, nah. I think like it's like, did you not carry these children in your womb for 9 months? Like, what do you mean? But let me breathe. Buki, over to you. Buki is the calm one, so she's going to douse my passionate my passion. Yes.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, at times, even the person who is calm at times, goes the other side. Totally, I agree with you that in the 30, 40 years, 20 years, 10 years, such people with special needs are actually caged, they keep them in a home. I remember a particular scene. The children of the woman come to church, but one day, I happened to go to their family house, and somehow I entered a particular room and I saw, a child with special need. I think it's Down syndrome too. I was taken aback, because these are scenes that you don't see. I was taken aback, and somehow they knew I missed the room. Oh, they just said, "Oh, he's sleeping," and they pulled me out. I mean, I can't forget that particular scene. So I totally agree with you, and it's because, as at that time, they were caging them, but now because of education, um, people are now getting that encouragement, if I should say, that hey, they are children, they are human beings in the first instance. Just that, yes, they have some special needs. In fact, it's even recent that the coinage of special needs, they're coming, and I believe it's getting better. And that's why parents are now coming out. And then, of course, the support groups, that we have. But let's talk about this case of a pastor. I was taken aback, honestly, my dear ladies. I was shocked that a pastor, I honestly, I was shocked that, what are you reading in the Bible? I mean, let me take it on the surface, because I could have said, well, they are fake pastors. But even if you're a fake pastor, are you not reading the Bible? Everyone was created in the image and likeness of God. And I want to believe that this particular pastor would have gone to school. But I'm coming there because anything that happens, I'm always looking at, okay, what can we do better? Continuous improvement. And I'm coming to Calabar. Because it looks as if a whole lot is happening around that. If they can spearhead this reformation, similar to what Mary Slessor did in Calabar.
Yeah.
If they can really spearhead it in these modern times, it will help. Thank God for Mary Slessor, who took that boldness. I can imagine, the enmity, the aggression, the hurt, the pains that she will have gone through to say that, look, twins are blessings, because we are used to one, and then suddenly two came, and you think that these ones are evil people, so abandon them in the evil forest. Can you imagine how many children have been abandoned in the evil forest? And she stood her ground. Are we still saying that thing is still there despite education? And that's where I'm going, that continuous improvement. We might probably need to look at these things to say, you know what, you people are ignorant of what is happening. What can we do to educate? We're talking about Down syndrome. It has nothing to do with witchcraft. And we know it runs across African countries. I mean, so I'm not spotlighting Calabar for that, but I'm only saying that can Calabar, spearhead this revolution, right? What is Down syndrome? If we need to go back and recalibrate the way we learn biology and things like that, I think we need to. And also, this is where media, entertainment, comes in. We do that now because now anybody listening to us who does not even understand what Down syndrome means will now understand that, oh, it's a genetic issue.
Yeah, an extra chromosome.
Yes, it's an extra. Everybody comes with 46 chromosomes, 22 years. But in a case where I think it's chromosome 21, it doubles itself, it copies itself. So instead of you having 46, you have 47. And because of that extra chromosome, a whole lot of things happen. It has nothing to do with the age, what the mother ate. Well, maybe a little bit about the age. I'm not an expert in that, so I do not want to go into that because what they say there is a risk factor around that. It has nothing to do with spiritual attack. It has nothing to do with what you ate. It has nothing to do with sin or wrongdoing or witchcraft or whatever it is. It's just a genetic mutilation or mutation or whatever they call it. Yeah, and then of course, the way they appear. If you're not used to it and you bump into them, yes, it can be a bit. You can pull back. You understand, because of the way they are. And to be honest, some of them are friendly. I don't know if you've met some of them. Some of them are friendly. And then, of course, at times, because they are also struggling with themselves at times, So at times they could be stubborn. At times they could be frustrated. It depends on how you manage them. And then of course the difficulty, some of them might not be able to sit, early enough. Some of them might even be crawling, some of them might not be able to speak, have the speech therapy, you have to keep repeating things, they're learning because it has affected their brain somehow. Of course, their learning quotient also has been affected. So all this can actually bring about frustration to the parent who is ignorant of what is happening, because many a times the parents are looking at things from their own side. They're not even looking at it from the child, because the child also is struggling. The child also is struggling. They might not be able to express themselves how they are, but we should put ourselves in their own position as well. And that is where the love, the affection, should come in and show them love. And to every parent who has a special need child, we want to celebrate you today. Honestly, we want to celebrate you today because you are doing a whole lot, particularly those who have shown love, who have shown affection. You should be proud of them. In fact, with the essential support, and that's why we want to call on the government. There has to be special support system, not the one they mount. No, not the one they mount. It should be such, if anybody has any issue, easily you to the next center and you get adequate. That is where we want to go to. I mean, like the public centers now. I mean, I can refer to the one Governor Sanwo-Olu is doing. Well, at least let's celebrate him. At least yesterday, he launched a visual book, telling all the things he has done. Well done. But hey, we need more. We need support centers for special children, just like every local government now has a new maternity home and all that. And somebody was actually saying that, oh, such homes, such maternity homes are beautiful, good aesthetics, the process is good and all that. So thank you very much. But now we are now saying we now need more. We now need more of these support frameworks that easily anybody, you just go in there, you're educated, you have a support group, you have the medical personnel, things are there that that yes, the government is there for you. So for every parent that has special needs, we want to celebrate you today. But for this Down syndrome, I'm happy that they have nabbed the pastor. He's been sentenced for hanging, right? Right, because he
Yeah,
killed somebody. He killed somebody. Down
it is.
syndrome children, they go to school. They go to school. They graduate. I mean, based on their friends, because God, who created them, has put one or two things in them. It's just because we have not been able to go. I happen to go to. I don't know if that center has been closed now. Maybe that's the center Mizoboli mentions. It's a rehab. It's a rehab somewhere along the Ikorodu. This prison ministry takes you so many places. Somehow it was for the rehab, but I now noticed there was another home. I said, okay, who are stays in this home? They said, oh, special needs children. Oh, I said, I'm interested in seeing them. I was shocked when I got into them. They were doing arts and craft. If you see what those children painted, I have to say, please, are these arts, do you take them out, and sell them? Because this is the emotional selling, that it's done by this and this and this. As I entered the room, everybody was showing me their art. So I had to take my time to look at everyone, because everybody was special and they needed work and all that. It was, I don't know if that is where Mrs. Oboli said they are close, but that would not be a good one at all, because I expected more support, to come from that. So in wrapping up, I just want to encourage people who have special need children, yes, particularly Down syndrome. That is what we're talking about today. Please, it has nothing to do with witchcraft, nothing at all. Do not kill anybody because the child is giving you issues and all that. Obviously, that's why we call them special needs. The first thing is just to accept the diagnosis, then understand what it is and how you can manage, and then of course join support groups. Of course, you have to see a pediatrician, early stage, and of course early intervention, in terms of speech therapy, physiotherapy. And that is why I said all these things are costly for an average Nigerian. And this is where the government, needs to set up support clinics, support homes, that will do this, that anybody, you don't even have to search so well for it. You see it. If it has to be done one in every local government, honestly, so that they will know that yes, the government, is there for them. And then of course, education. We need to go back to our curriculum. If a pastor, I don't know his level, probably school sat. You do not even know what is happening. And for you to know, a whole lot of people do not know some of these things.
Yeah.
They just wrap it around witchcraft, because that is what they have been, the lie that has been sold to them. It is the church. Because I want to come to my constituency now, because this is a pastor. What is the church doing concerning this? Ignorance. First level ignorance of some pastors. And this should not be condoned at all. We should not even accept it at all. So this is where I also call on associations, CAN, PFL, whatever it is. They need to begin to, educate, pastors at that level, because some of them are very ignorant. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Ibn Abel. Let's move over to you before we get to Nima.
Okay. This is very sad, and I want to let us understand one thing, and that is, we are talking about Calabar because Calabar had a history of killing twins and everything. Killing twins I am from Rivers State. Calabar happens to be the capital of Cross River State. I am from Rivers State, and the killing of twins was in existence even in my own hometown then. It was the intervention of Mary Slessor of blessed memory that gradually brought that to a complete close, that nobody is killing twins today. So you see, it happens everywhere. It happens in Lagos State. It happens everywhere. It is when you get to know about it that you know that, I've been to a family, a big, well-known family, respected and everything. And a young man, I think they forgot to lock the door his room and he was training at biology. He came out and we, the visitors, saw him. And it was a huge embarrassment to the parents. I mean, I don't know why. This is your child. This is a grown young man, and he was always locked up. You should see his skin. From the texture and the look of his skin, he never really had enough sunshine on his body. So you see, and that is a Yoruba family. And when we were discussing it, like doing a mebo about it on our own, it was mentioned, somebody mentioned that there are many people like that too, until you get to know. If this boy didn't stray out of the room, I mean, such a child is in that family. So what I want to say is that, see, looking at that man as a pastor, you see, one thing I've come to realize, and I've always said it, but people see me as being controversial. I tell you, I said, it's not everyone that calls himself pastor that is a pastor to me. There are people who have not declared to be pastors, but from their ways, character, everything, the way they go about their activities, you want to call them, are you a pastor? So when a Mephistophelian
she has come,
finds himself in that corridor of being a pastor, what do you expect? What do you expect? He will be unreasonable. He's going to be wicked. He's going to be cunning. Do you understand? When you compare this very, very bad, character into one person, that is a person that will go and kill his own child. Then imagine the kind of advice he will give church members. And most of these people, they are very fetish. So to be a member, they would maybe in the course of sharing rice and beans, they would have given you something to eat. We are Africans. We know these things are happening. Despite the fact that, yes, I'm a Christian, I know that above and beyond anything, Jesus is Lord, but we cannot act in ignorance to all of these activities. But that, I'm happy that the hand of the law, Otigbamu, and the full extent of his punishment should be given to him to go. Having said that, you see, sometimes parents hiding these children is mostly out of shame and out of what community members are saying. Do you know that this young man that we saw by accident, mistakenly, somehow in the house where we went visit, there was a meeting of it's a long time. What I'm talking about is over 20 years. And what came after that was, no wonder they have money. They are using for juju, money ritual. So you see, sometimes you are too mindful of what people will say. So you don't want it. So you rather keep your problem, close it lock it behind closed doors. And that is not fair on that child. For me, I had a younger sister who I was only 2 years older than. Those days, 2 years, often long by those days when mothers are giving birth. So this younger sister of mine was born hale and hearty. My mother said she was always wrestling with me, and this is for me to face her. I'm saying, hey, mommy, come and see. My mom said, beat her. That sister, handle it. It was difficult for her because, she was so strong and very active, very agile and everything. Then a day came, she fell ill. And so many things happened when I was little. She was very little, so I would imagine my age then. I was barely 6 or maybe 5. So she became ill, she convulsed, and so many things. And at the end of the day, she went vegetable. Born hale and hearty. So there's a difference between you giving birth to a very hale and hearty child and you giving birth to a child with disability. This younger sister of mine started afresh like a baby, and learning how to sit and everything. And looking back on those days with my speaking eyes, that's why when I tell everybody on this program and everywhere I go that I had the best father any child could ever wish for, I will always say it. I am overly proud of my dad, and when I see such traits in men, I give them their flowers. See, my parents stood, and the same thing with my mom. We had I had younger sisters, younger siblings, but my parents took their time to go through so much pains to take care of this child. Over the years, she grew older. When you look at her, because she wasn't born with disability, but something happened along the line. When you look at her standing, you will never imagine that she had such until you start having conversation with her. She will relate with you like, you're looking at a 15-year-old talking like a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old. But my parents stood. Today, she has 2 sons. These 2 boys, they are a testament to the fact that life can play some funny tricks on people.
Yeah, it can.
Very brilliant. When you talk about, when you are brilliant, you may be brilliant but not very intelligent. They are brilliant educationally. They are intelligent streetwise. They are intelligent. At their age, in fact, the younger one mingles with chiefs. He's already a chief. He's intelligence. I tell him, don't be ahead of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if my parents had decided to hide her, this and that, not attend to her, not help her to grow, to start all over again. Then where would she be? How could she have given birth? How could she have gotten pregnant and everything? So you see, parents should understand that a child's disability is not an evidence of a curse. It's not a punishment on them, nor is it a wrongdoing by the child or the parents. Mentioned, there are biological factors that it could be genetic, it could be, like Buki mentioned, chromosomal abnormalities, which is not the fault of the baby or the mother. It could be problems during fetal development. So we need to have understanding, and it could be maternal infections during pregnancies. That is why it is always important that you don't miss out on your antenatal appointments. Make sure that everything is fine. And then we shouldn't joke with what they call folic acid. It's one of the B complex that we have, B vitamins. Yeah. It's important for every woman because it plays a huge role while you are trying to get pregnant and while you are carrying your pregnancy. So all of these things are very important, and the Bible is written in English. So you should sit down and read the Bible even for yourself. You understand? So that no man will call himself a pastor and come and tell you one thing. We have discussed on this platform years ago. A family took their daughter, little girl, maybe 2 or 1 plus, to a pastor who said that child was possessed, and they picked up broom and started whipping this baby. Somebody saw them and reported the case, and they were all arrested. So you see, it's still ongoing till date. There had been stories where the parents, they will say, that child hand, as long as that child has his or her hands, the parents' hand will never bring anything profitable. So what did they do? They put this little boy's hands into fire and burned his hands. So you see, if you, God has created us, He gave us brain to use. If you refuse to use your brain and you are allowing your pastor or your imam or traditional whatever to help you with your brain, one day that ignorance will put you in a big mess in which He has put this pastor. I can't call him a pastor because, like I said, there are Mephistophelians as people in authority, in community, as community leaders. They are everywhere, and people with such a character won't let shame call giddy for anybody. If a man could take his own baby, a baby that could not defend herself, to a pastor, so to say, and they say that this baby's hand must be destroyed for your hands to become profitable to you, and you watched this innocent child hands being burnt in naked fire. I've never seen anything above that. That is the highest level of cruelty, and people will engage in it. So you see, we need to begin to talk about these things, and people should talk about it Even in various religions, in Islam, in Christianity, in tradition, whatever, talk about it. A child's disability is not the child's fault. You gave birth to maybe 3 children. One of them has some form of disability. Do you feel that child wouldn't want to, when that child grows up? I know a lady, she has this slight disability, and she's aware, she's already grown. At the point, she said she became very suicidal because she was asking herself, why me? I have siblings. They are all normal. Why me? But because of the level of love that was shown to her by her siblings, by her parents, she was able to hold on. I know another lady whose first child, they used to say, like Buki was trying to say that they said old age. This woman had a first child, and that first child was struck with Down syndrome from birth. If you see this girl, when you talk about beauty, each time I see her, I feel, I don't like seeing her because it changes my mood. It makes me become so afraid of life. What is life after all? Beautiful young lady. But this is saddled with the responsibility. Everywhere she goes with this child. Meanwhile, our younger siblings are independent in various places. Some are in Nigeria, some are abroad schooling, some are already working and everything. But the first child of the family is with a disease, a disability that she didn't pray for, but she is bearing. She doesn't even know what she has and what she looks like to people. But I give kudos. I always tell the mom, I said, this thing you are doing, God will give you long life. Give you long life. Along the line, I have seen a wedding where a man married a girl with Down syndrome. And the family was saying, hey, but eventually the girl gave birth to a baby that was very normal. Do you understand? So you see, in life, my people go say, that is, I just spoke my language. I don't know if you don't hear that. You see, right? I've always said it. When you want to lay a corpse in state for service or whatever, you have to position the body in a way that the leg will be facing the exit, because the person is already gone. That's how they lay there. So they will tell you, as long as your legs are not deliberately positioned towards the exit, that means as long as you are alive, you don't make mockery of anybody, because you don't know what will happen to you. We all listened to Susan when she mentioned that a girl who used to make fun of her innocently, she was eventually crushed. Her legs were crushed by her father while the father was reversing.
Yes.
So you see, in life, people should stop mocking families with children with disabilities.
Yeah.
Huge. It is frustrating. It is unfair. We should stop it. We should stop. Please, we should stop. This is one of the reasons why parents would not proudly bring out their children for people to see, because that child has become a source of shame. So please, the one where you born, that was why I gave the story of my younger sister. That child was born hale and hearty. That child go drag with it very well. But look, along the line, she became ill, and she was taken into the category of a child with disability. She was not born like that. You that you have very normal, very strong children, and you are making mockery, making fun of that family with a child with disabilities. You don't know. I don't wish you bad, but you don't know what you don't know what the new dawn brings. Please stop. We need to stop. If you cannot support and help, please keep quiet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibn Abo. 91.7 FM, the voice of women. And this is HerLens this morning. We've been discussing this pastor who killed his 16-year-old Down syndrome child. And of course, the verdict was death by hanging. They didn't even waste time. The child has Down syndrome and he still accused his daughter of witchcraft, which is why he killed her. Excuse me. And in that part of town, there was a time where, in the South, particularly Akwa Ibom State and Cross River, it was rife with witchcraft accusations against children, especially those living with disabilities. And the ladies have done justice to this matter, calling on the government, calling on the church, speaking to parents who hide their children. Their child has a disability. I really wish Susan was here today, because this would have riled her up so much. And then she would have been able to give us, an insider perspective of things. But the ladies are already doing justice. Nima, would you like to say something?
I have a question actually. I don't want it to be I'm throwing shades at body. Are there regulatory bodies for pastors?
Are there what?
Like regulatory bodies, like those who what's the word? Those who regulate how pastors are chosen, those who decide the activities of pastors.
Yeah, there are. Aren't there regulation?
Okay, so let me.
Sorry, Buki. I know I was
so-
going to move to you, Buki. But they say, aren't there regulatory bodies for president, governor, local governments? That's it. But I'll allow Buki. Let Buki do justice to this.
You have
Yes.
spoken.
Though maybe we should even find out from Nima where she's going. Don't let
Okay.
me assume. Nima, why
Okay.
did you ask that question?
Okay, because I find it so weird that a pastor, because when I watch movies and see things, pastors are always enlightened. So I find it so weird that a pastor comes out to say, he killed his child because of witchcraft. If he really felt that child was possessed, shouldn't he have done deliverance or something? Then
Okay,
again,
yes.
if he was enlightened, he
Okay,
knew
yeah.
that this is
I
a disease.
I understand.
But
I understand where
that
you're coming
question-
from.
I still
Yeah.
have more points to make, but I think Buki is
Go
talking.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Don't let
go
me-
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so shocking that you're a pastor. Like pastors do deliverance, don't they? Not do deliverance for your child. Isn't educated? Coupled with the fact that Down syndrome is not something the child is born with it. About you shushu 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 16 years of age. He now decided that his daughter is and he has to do something. That is so ridiculous to think of, because this child has been living with, and I'll give you for free. I'm a person who volunteers with people for special needs for free. I prefer them way more than many people who have done it, because they are so like most of the hang up we have. It just beats me that he killed this child because he feels she's a witch. And when we talk about parents hiding their children, maybe because they have special needs, they have disabilities, maybe because of shame, there is nothing to be shamed about. It was Ibinabo who said a particular couple brought out their child, they were like, fishy or something, that why are they rich? If they had brought out their child, oh, your child is this, your child is that, but would have never come into. Nobody would have ever said, okay, you people, and so. And disability is not something that is shameful. Rather than being ashamed or feeling like, why don't we help them? There are ways to help them, ways to make their lives easier, rather than it's a shameful thing. Or, and what assurity, if that man himself is not into witchcraft, how does he know that his daughter is a witch? Did he catch her manifest? Did he catch her manifesting? And peradventure, I have to be very careful when I'm talking. We're talking about a pastor and I'm a Muslim. Peradventure, he even saw this girl manifesting. Back to my former question, can he do deliverance for his daughter? And when I'm saying deliverance, I'm not saying them with their brooms, beating the children, wanting to kill them. Why on earth did he have? So I feel this issue, like we were saying yesterday, on the big question. Most of these things are societal issues.
Yeah.
We need to like rise up as a society and educate people. I know people, when I was in school, I knew this lady with Down syndrome. I just used to think she had an issue with her face, maybe a stroke, because she was doing well in class. She was outspoken until someone said, oh, Nima, this girl actually has Down syndrome. It wasn't a stroke. I was like, okay, no problem. I did realize these people are not abnormal. They are very much normal. They are like you and I. Just one little defect. And we shouldn't let disability define people. I think we need to learn that as a society. Disability does not define you. You can do whatever Nima does. You are just slightly different from me, and that doesn't mean I am better than you. And for those of you who say people with disability have witchcraft, who told you that you are not a witch? Because when you are saying somebody is a witch, you are manifesting already. The manifestation you're in charity. I don't understand. I didn't want to offend anybody. That was why I asked that first question.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you all are Christians. The ladies are Christians. You can answer me. I didn't want to like come out of it.
Okay. Buki is going to respond to you.
Okay, so let me answer. If you can recall what I discussed, yes, I mentioned that a pastor, and Ibn Abba also mentioned that not everybody is a pastor. To answer your question, most of the pastors, right, they go through a curriculum. Even if it's Orthodox churches, they have their Bible school. Even Pentecostals, they have their Bible colleges. They go through that. I can tell you for that. But there are some that, because they think they have this calling, because they can carry a Bible and they believe that they can influence 2, 3, 4. Go and check this man. I'm sure his congregation will not be more than 10. We're talking about the rural area. Once you can speak and you have influence, on people, and possibly you had done one prayer and then God answered that prayer. The next thing, you probably do not have a job to do. The next thing is, what do? You start that. And it's not just for pastors. Talk about any religion. You understand? Talk about any religion. We have such people. We have such people like that. But the question is, this person is a man. We are only cloaking it because the information we got is a pastor. You understand? He could have been an engineer. I'm sure the other things this man is doing, they did not bring that. Probably he's a vulcanizer or he's a teacher or whatever it is. But just to amplify, because we expect that as a pastor, you should have higher standard. You should understand this thing. But where I want to land today is that a pastor is still a man at his very best. Right?
Yeah.
I want to look at it from the human angle. I want to look at it from the human angle, that we need to educate. This has shown that there is still a little bit of ignorance, even at that level. At that level. To be honest, at times we'll say that this man in Rwanda is a bit harsh, but he has seen all kinds of things that have been happening.
Kagame, he has.
So it's that for you to start a church, I'm sure there are other religions there. You must go through a proper school and you must be certified, because they go through curriculum and they understand everything. I can attest to you for that. But let us look at it from the human angle. I totally agree with you. If truly is a pastor and he believes his witchcraft, he should actually cast the witches out. But that shows his letters, which almost, in fact, there are a whole lot of people that are ignorant about that. Even if you're not a pastor, some people are still ignorant. That's witchcraft is this, is the irrespective of the that the person is. And I think that is why we need to tackle to say, you know what, this level of ignorance, we need to change it, and we need to let people know. But I'm happy that they have nabbed him. Thank you very much. I believe that
we have some voice notes to play.
Good morning, ladies. Thanks for all you do. Thank you all are being amazing. First and foremost, let me say thank you to the three of you that have done justice to this topic. Hearing you analyze the way you've done this morning brings tears to my eyes. I can't even call in, so I don't want to break down this morning. I want to say thank you for speaking up against children living with disabilities. If we had women, men, speak up more the way you guys do, especially on women radio, this world would be a better place. Starting from the parents themselves that have these special children that don't know how to handle them or paint them in the public light in the way they ought not to be painted, then to the society at large. But I believe as we continually sanitize and sensitize our society, things will start taking proper shape. Let me start by saying to this pastor, he got what he actually deserved. Honestly, if only people knew, I'm sure people would have saved that child from being killed. And this is one of the many things that happen that people don't even know. This one, and it has shown that some people kill their children. Some will lock them in the house for 3 days. And when they come back, those children will die. As I was saying before the call came through, will lock their children inside the house, living with disabilities inside the house for 3 whole days. So that when they come back, those children would have died. And then they will say, knowing that you are the one that was the weapon fashioned against that child. And when you not cry foul, as if nothing happened, God knows that they are aware that they are the one that killed those children. Many things like that. Yet, society just looks and says, you know how many times they've called our children imbeciles? I know you don't want to mention that name, but because I am a mother of a child living with disability, I make me to use that word because it is often used in my sphere. They look at a child with Down syndrome, they say, it's like, can any good thing come out of this Israel? They look at our child and call them imbeciles. And to the glory of God, the paradigm shift is changing. Narratives are changing. You see autistic children, you see children with Down syndrome, you see children with cerebral palsy, making their mark in nation building, doing their bit to positively contribute in their own little way to the quarter of society. They are not to be written off. Ability or disability does not cumber or does not downplay their ability because there is ability in disabilities. I don't want to call in this morning, like I said, but I want to say thank you for doing justice and due diligence to this topic. To every man and women out there, the way you carry your child is the way other people will carry your child. Everybody knows that my David is my gold, is my everything. And you cannot even know me except you know him first. As my other children, and I also my God, but this one, I will never hide him. He's my identity, is everything I have been in a man because he gives me joy. He makes me listen more. He makes me persevere more. He makes me tolerate more, even though it is not easy. He will be 16 in October. And I said, God, I thank you. It has not been easy. He'll be coming home for the holidays very soon. And I said, God, it has not been easy, but I will continue because of that boy. I have known people I'm not supposed to know, gone to places I'm not supposed to go because of that boy. He's a superstar. And all the special children, men, women, and children living with disabilities are all super children because they possess superpowers. And that is the ability to reason far even than those who don't have disabilities. Even if they are sidelined in the community, even if they are sidelined in society, those who are enlightened, those who are in the know that these children, these people, these persons shouldn't, as a matter of fact, be put or relegated to the background. Thank you, everyone, this morning. Thanks for your time. And thank you for everything you're doing and for what Women Radio is doing to spotlight and escalate these matters affecting peoples and persons living with disability. God bless us all. Wishing you all a productive day. This is Mrs. Oboli.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Oboli. On that note, I see Ibn Abel's hand is up, but unfortunately, we won't be able to take because we've run out of time. I didn't see your hand on time. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Mrs. Oboli, for sending the voice notes. I was hoping that she would come, and I'm glad that she sent, a voice note this morning. Well, obviously, we missed Susan because Susan would have also given us her own lived experience. On that note, thank you so much, Buki. Thank you so much, Ibn Abel. Thank you so much, Nima, for today's conversation. Catch you same time tomorrow.